Hello, everyone. Welcome to Barca News. It is March 11th, 2025, and it's been revealed the actual price of Gyokeres, which of course has caused Barcelona to withdraw from this race. Also, Como have informed Barcelona that they want to keep Alex Valle, and finally, Iñaki Peña has received more interest, and this time from La Liga clubs. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and we'll begin this video with the statements of Pedri, because as you know, Barcelona defeated today Benfica 3-1, 4-1 on aggregate, advancing to the quarterfinals, and Pedri received the MVP of the match for his stellar performance, as we have gotten accustomed to all throughout the season. And this is what the Barcelona midfielder had to say about the MVP award. The MVP could have gone to Coutinho. Of course, he says Rafinha, but I don't know who Rafinha is. I only know Coutinho. But the MVP could have gone to Coutinho or Lamine. They're spectacular players. Robert, who finishes everything. We have dynamite up front that we have to take advantage of. I've always tried to work on defense. My father told me that if I play regularly, I should at least work hard and defend for the team. It was a tough game after Saturday. First of all, I want to send strength to my family and friends, and we'll try to win everything for him. Of course, speaking of Dr. Carlos Miñarro Garcia, may he rest in peace. I think that in the previous game, we came out asleep, and this one, we scored, and they scored against us. But, well, the team maintained its level of concentration. So, lots of things to break down here. First, Pedri has always been humble, saying that, obviously he's happy he got the MVP award, but that could have been Coutinho or Lamine also, because they also had stellar performances, and I absolutely agree. In fact, in the past, Pedri also won an MVP and ended up giving it to Rafinha. I can't remember which match it was. I think it was against Bayern, maybe. But anyways, Pedri has always been, humble, caring more about the team than himself, saying that Rafinha Lamine also deserved the MVP award, and then talking about how, his father always told him that he should defend, and, we've seen it all throughout this season. Not only is Pedri amazing setting the tempo and dictating that the attack and organizing the attack and doing all of that, but we've also seen him drop all the way down low to defend. I mean, Pedri's been just absolutely spectacular throughout this season. And then, of course, talking about Dr. Carlos Miñarro Garcia, who, by the way, all the players dedicated the victory to him, and Pedri saying that every victory from now on will be dedicated to the doctor. So that's really cool words by Pedri. Very nice, way to honor the doctor, who, of course, gave his career to these players to make sure that they're healthy and they can play at the best of their level. And then finally, Pedri touching on, where it all went wrong in previous matches, which is that the team came out asleep. And, I talked about that in my post-match live analysis. Always said, that's been my biggest complaint of the team, always starting matches asleep. Today, that wasn't the case. And, of course, we saw the difference right away. And now, speaking of Pedri, Gabi had some interesting statements about his teammate after the match, because Gabi thinks that Pedri should be the Ballon d'Or winner. And this is what Gabi had to say. Nobody deserves the Ballon d'Or more than Pedri. Everyone knows what kind of a player he is. So Gabi believes that Pedri should be the Ballon d'Or winner. Of course, Rafinha, his numbers speak for themselves. He's also a really solid candidate for the Ballon d'Or. So, of course, I want to ask you guys, who do you think should be the Ballon d'Or? Or who do you prefer to see the Ballon d'Or winner? Should it be Pedri? Should it be Rafinha? Let me know down below in the comment section. I personally believe either one of them could win it, and either one of them deserve to win it. To me, Lamine Yamal is the most talented player in the world. Rafinha, to me, is the best performing player in the world. And Pedri, I think he's the best midfielder in the world. So, honestly, either of those three could easily win the Ballon d'Or and would deservedly. So, maybe not Lamine yet, maybe next season. I don't know. It's hard. Just let me know what you guys' thoughts and opinions are down below in the comment section. Now, Gabi was also asked, about the team's performance, and he said that the biggest difference maker is Hansi Flick. And I think that's become pretty obvious by now because this is the same exact squad as last season, and yet it's night and day. So I think it has become pretty evident that it's thanks to Hansi Flick that this team is playing the way that they're playing, and for that, we're gonna have to be eternally grateful to what Flick is doing to this team. All right, let's move on to other news away from the Champions League, since we talked about Champions League a lot during the last video and a little bit during this one. But let's talk about Gyokeres, because, ladies and gentlemen, we have found out the true price of the Swedish center forward. Now, the 26-year-old attacker has become, of course, one of the most coveted players in Europe because he's having an incredible season, having scored 27 goals and provided 5 assists so far. All the teams in Europe, or the biggest teams in Europe, are all fighting of him, many in the Premier League, and including PSG, Bayern Munich. Well, not including because they're not in the Premier League, but aside from the Premier League clubs, PSG, Bayern, and some even saying Real Madrid are after the player. So pretty much everyone and their mama want to sign Victor Gyokeres. Of course, Barcelona did consider this signing at one point because, as you know, Barcelona are in the market looking for a replacement for Robert Lewandowski. But then, of course, we knew that his price would be prohibitive, so it did not look very good for Barcelona. And, well, now it looks even worse. And, in fact, many reports are stating that Barcelona have already withdrawn from the race for Gyokeres, not because he's not good enough or not because Barcelona don't think he's good enough, simply because we cannot afford him. Now, Gyokeres had a €100 million release clause with Sporting, but it's reported that that release clause was only through the winter transfer market, and there was no way that Sporting were going to want, to reduce that price or negotiate a lower price because they didn't want to lose Gyokeres halfway through the season. Summer, different story. You can look for a replacement. You can figure out what to do. You have the entire summer. Winter, you're stuck without a player, a very important player for the rest of the season. So, of course, they were insisting on that release clause, but nobody paid it. So now that release clause is gone. It was only good for the winter transfer market. So now Sporting reportedly are going to ask for between 65 to 70 million euros during this summer transfer market. And between that asking price and salary of the player, there's just no way that Barcelona will be able to afford him. So we kind of already knew that this wasn't going to happen, but now it's for sure not going to happen. Now, of course, with all the options that Gyokeres has, he's going to have all the power to choose where he goes. Most likely it's going to be the Premier League because there are reports stating that Gyokeres, wants to go back to the Premier League and prove himself since he never had that opportunity. Now, on to the next bit of news because, ladies and gentlemen, Como have informed Barcelona that they want to keep Alex Valle. Now, as you know, Alex Valle is currently on loan until the end of the season with Como. He spent the first half of the season at Celtic in Scotland, and then during the winter transfer market, he moved to Como on loan. There's no option to buy in his contract. However, he does have an exit clause in his contract with Barcelona, which is worth 6 million euros. And now that he has become a definitive starter for the Italian team, it's reported that Como have informed Barcelona that they want to keep him. So if the player agrees, most likely he will stay with Como. Of course, if the player says, no, I want to go back to Barcelona and try my luck, then he won't. But of course, most likely he will end up staying at Como because at Como he has a guaranteed starting spot. At Barcelona, he doesn't know whether he does or not. Or who knows? Maybe he does. He will try to roll the dice with Barcelona. But the way Balde is playing, Alex Valle is not going to start ahead of him. So most likely he is going to want to stay. Now, finally, one player who could also leave in the summer transfer market is that of Iñaki Peña. As we know, Iñaki Peña has lost his spot to Wojciech Szczesny. Ter Stegen will be back next season, and with Barcelona reportedly trying to extend the contract of Szczesny, that would relegate Iñaki Peña to the third goalkeeper, which is not something that the goalkeeper wants. So most likely Iñaki Peña could end up leaving during this summer. Of course, his contract does expire in 2026, so this will be in the summer, he would be entering the last year of his contract. And as I reported in a previous video, Galatasaray are very interested in signing him. Of course, Iñaki Peña spent some time on loan with Galatasaray where he did really well and impressed the Turkish club. So they would like to sign him in place of Muslera, whose contract gonna expire at the end of the season. But now 2 more clubs have joined the race, including Real Betis, who consider Iñaki Peña as a valuable addition to their team. And of course, they do have a good relationship with Barcelona. And finally, Celta Vigo, who are still considering whether they want to renew or not their current goalkeeper, Vicente Guaita. I think that's how you say it. And of course, they're considering also the signing of Iñaki Peña. So it looks like the Barcelona goalkeeper does have options. Of course, he still hasn't made up his mind on whether he wants to leave or not. But if Barcelona renew Szczesny, most likely he will end up leaving. All right, that is all the news for this video. I did upload another video before this one, so make sure to check it out. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, drop a comment. And as always, peace, guys.